button. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Going live. There we go. We're live again. Sorry about that. Shitty connection.
Yes. Okay. Before the break, we were the party just reached a cave with some tabaxi help. They dismounted and were asked to be seated on the floor, and their sailors are passing out water and food at the moment as the tabaxi sort of unwrap the wrappings from around their heads, and this cat-like features are revealed. And water and food is passed out amongst the group. All apart from Becky's character, Cat is readily ignored. But I believe Sir Bayor.
Yeah. At that point, Sir Bayor took a cup that was handed to him and passed it on to the cat. There you are. Have a drink.
I cannot.
Food?
I cannot.
Conversation?
I cannot.
Very well.
And Tuak says, Sir Bayor, you should not do this. Please sit.
Very well. I think I understand. Your health. I'll take a drink.
He says, your health too. He says, why are you looking for this star?
Our plan is to destroy one or both. Or at least ensure that people that we think would not be best suited to get hold of them, get hold of them.
Yeah, and you think how do you think you're going to do this? These things are incredibly powerful, and to do it with such a strange group, he says and gestures around.
Take your ship into the middle of the ocean and drop it into the sea.
He said,
There are creatures in the sea too.
yeah, and he can turn and stare at you for a second and frown.
There are creatures in the sea as well.
Yes, there are creatures in the sea, and the thing would make its way back to land eventually. It is no
Yes,
less dangerous being at sea.
I have heard strange things about the sea. Things that cause it to move. I believe they're called currents.
Oh, you put it in that big iron chest and cover it in chains. There's no current's going to move that.
Sahwagan, Aboleths, and then I scowl at this leader guy.
Be silent.
How did these things...
Actually, I've decided no.
I take a big swig of wine.
And I make myself look bigger.
Sir Bayor, please control your party member.
She is her own person, just as we all are. She is also under my protection as well, so what she says goes for us all.
There's a big murmur has gone through the rest of the backseat group at this time.
But let us get back to this item, or these items. How did they get it into the heavens in the first place? Is that perhaps there's a way of sending them back?
He says, I believe that the legend was that the gods set them in the sky.
That we must find a god to send it back. Do you know of any?
That might be possible, he said. That's one of the things the stones can do, is bring the gods.
Together, is my understanding.
Yes. Although they are very powerful individually. Together they will. Together they will bring the gods back to this realm.
Once the gods are back, they could perhaps curtail anyone from using the power of these things.
They are gods.
Well,
But gods don't necessarily do what you wish them to do.
and vice versa.
And how do you assume to get this thing? Where are you taking it? How do you assume to get it back across the mountains?
By horse.
By which route? Which route did you come?
I think at this point, the less you know, the better, I say, glaring at him.
He sort of. What do you know? You do
I
not-
know that you are mining for information that you don't need.
If I am to help you, I need information.
If you really want to help us, then I suppose it's an old saying from the Crag Hearth, but actions speak louder than words. Help us take it back.
We will take no part in your fight, but we can direct you.
But you've just said that these stones should never meet. If anything, this is all of our fight.
True, but we are an isolated people. We do not get involved in the arguments of outside races.
Then you can hardly complain when something bad happens or anything, can you then?
Well, we tried to stop you going into the temple.
You didn't try very hard, did you really? You're too scared or you went into yourself. At least we had the courage to do something about this, and not just stand there and just babble on about this, that, and the other, what's right, what's wrong, without any actions.
We know how dangerous the temple is. Over the years we have lost many people
Right.
at the temple.
Well, we didn't lose anyone, so I don't know what that tells you.
So it might tell me you're in league with the Sokar devil.
Yeah, possibly. You're still helping us, aren't you?
We are helping you because perhaps the sooner you leave our lands, the better. We do not want war to follow you here.
No, but whether we leave or not, the war will come to you anyway. If we get these stones. If we
Then
don't
why
allow them to
do
meet.
you not ride south and take it away from the other stone?
There's no point, they'll catch up with us.
Those who seek it are determined to have it.
They'll never stop seeking it.
They would turn the sea upside down to find it.
And they have powerful people behind them as well. They have Italian emperors and kings.
He sort of drops his head and drops his head after Matt spoke and said, at least that is true. As for powerful people on their side, they always do. It's the powerful people that want more power. We can speed you over the mountains if that is your wish, and we can try and hold up your enemies. You're right. War will eventually come to us.
They're your enemies too.
We tend not to have enemies in the desert. Anyone we find, we try and help, because the desert is enemy enough for everyone.
Except those who are born without fur.
Take another big swig.
Yes. If that is your sin, then yes, you have been expelled.
I look at this chief and say, it seems you have some squabbles of your own to deal with.
Yes. Well, there are issues in any society.
Well, whilst you talk about sins and lack of fur, I propose that you help us over the mountain at the very least.
Well, the nearest path is over the mountains. You go back east a few hours through the dead forest, and over the mountain, but this way is very dangerous.
Hence why you were going to escort us.
And the other way is through the pass, but it is further east and is guarded on the other side and guarded inside by trolls, but I see you've already met them from what you said earlier.
We are well aware of these trolls. I'd rather not meet them again.
So it would seem to me that you have two choices. A difficult journey, a difficult, dangerous journey, but shorter over the mountains, or a long journey through the mountains, but with three major obstacles. The people pursuing you, the trolls, and the border post on the other side. The choice will be yours.
Well, there's a road to the west.
That is an extremely long way around. And if you're right, you'll be pursued every step of the way.
I would suggest we take the shorter route through the mountains.
As I say, the dead forest is extremely dangerous. But
Creatures or some other magical presence?
Creatures, some very deadly creatures. The forest is quite an evil place. It's been dead for many, many hundreds of years, but seems to remain unchanging.
I'm kind of at home at forests, though, so the forest actually appeals to me a little bit. Being a wild elf.
And as they're talking, there's more food being offered around. Tell me, Sebrior, why did you travel with this one?
We have worked together as a group. We have relied upon each other. We were thrown together in unusual circumstances, and we have flourished together, so I see no reason not to work with her. Any of them, in fact.
The reason that they would give is hidden underneath this mask and these bindings. And with that, I'm going to take off the mask and start unraveling the bindings to reveal that I'm
Top up.
completely hairless.
And sort of like everyone sort of like all the tabaxi sort of turn away.
Is this really necessary, Cat?
This is why they are ashamed of me. And I realized when I heard them speak that I have carried that shame my entire life. And I don't know why. I'm not going to let it drag me down anymore. This is who I am.
And he turns to
I am
you
a tabaxi, and I will go places other tabaxi will not because they are too scared.
and he'll turn to the rest of you. Torque will turn to the rest of you and say, "Do you all feel this way?"
We do.
Yeah.
Well,
Aye.
shame in our people is not necessarily shame somewhere else. If you have found a tribe, then that is good.
The correct term is clouder.
But these not being tabaxi,
I'm sorry.
these others not being tabaxi. I believe they have tribes on the other side of the mountains.
Or clans.
Indeed, if you found a clan.
Either way, you have your clan or your people that you came from, and then you have the people who you're with now. That's how I see it anyway. Part of me is still at home, the rest of me is here.
If you are being of service to these people, then I suppose you have regained honor in their sight and ours. We do try to help people lost in the desert. So people lost in other deserts may need help as well, I suppose. Perhaps you are carrying on the traditions of your people. What else do you need from us?
Nothing. They have me.
Perhaps you do sound tabaxi after all.
Oh, she's tabaxi, alright.
So you're all keen on going through this nearer route.
Seems like the best way.
I will send out some scouts to see if we can find out who your friends are. And he beckons someone over, and they go off, wrap themselves up again, and they go off outside the cave. Will you stay tonight and attempt your trip tomorrow, or are you going immediately?
Are we close enough to the mountains full of desert heat and cold not to be that much of a problem anymore?
Yes.
Right. Well, I suggest we get as much rest as we possibly can and set out in the morning.
Yes, you're quite welcome to sleep here. Yes. You can choose a place, and we'll set watch for the night, as we normally would.
I wouldn't mind staying up to watch as well, at least for a while.
As you wish. Cautious man, I like the sound of that.
Well, from what I've heard, tabaxi love sleeping long periods of time.
We do sleep, but not all of us will sleep at once. So,
I'll just whisper to Rorik as I'm passing by to get my bedroll sorted. Wake me when you sleep.
Yeah, I give him a nod.
Well, like I said, don't forget I only need 4 hours of meditation a night.
You
That's
do, but
true.
you've done it many times.
Yeah, but I'm only going to do it anyway. That's all I need. So for 4 hours I meditate, and that's me done. I'm going to do it every time I don't sleep. So whether I do it or not, I'm still meditating for 4 hours and then waking up.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
okay, so as the meal dishes are being cleaned away and the horses and camels tended to, do any of you need to do anything?
No, I'll probably kind of dwell a bit on the sort of prophecies of mine. Just kind of get lost in my own head for a bit. But yeah, I'll position myself really quite close to the door and have probably some water with me and just keep watch with the tabaxi.
Mm-hmm.
I'll place myself somewhere dark.
Okay, so back in the cave for you then.
Yeah.
Anyone else doing anything?
Well, I'm going to have a drink and some food, and then I'm going to curl up.
I think one of us ought to at least have the thing with us while we're awake.
I'll curl up by the feet of the people sleeping. Guarding.
Okay, but all the other tabaxi pointedly stay away from you when they sleep. but Torak could be wandering around, talking to a few people, arranging watches, making sure that the cave is secure and set up ready for night. And he'll go over to Rorik and say, how long are you going to keep watch for?
A couple of hours, possibly more.
Okay, he says, these people, and he points to two of his group, he says, they'll be watching with you.
Good, good. We can entertain ourselves.
He says, if you need anything, just call and someone will be here to attend you.
Thank you.
And he goes back and sort of like fiddles with his bed in a bit and then sort of curls up himself. So everyone's asleep now and it's pretty quiet. Okay. You don't hear anything during your watch. So I don't know how long you walked waiting for. Are you 3-4 hours or a couple?
Yeah, probably about halfway through. So I'm also half keeping an eye on the other two. Was it two people who were watching, you said?
Yeah, to the back seat. They're just sort of like sitting around. Occasionally they'll get up and get a drink or wander around. They won't go outside the cave, but they'll stay at the cave mouth. They'll play some sort of game between themselves on the floor, maybe one will scratch some symbols in the floor as they're playing and things.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if they do something new, I'll kind of be a little bit suspicious of it, but yeah, if they're staying up past sort of 4 hours, I'll sort of, my eyes will start drooping a little bit, so I'm going to go and wake up Sabael.
Okay, so Sabaor, you get booted awake by Rod.
No.
Side of the head.
If I do that, it's a dwarven tradition.
Kicking the balls. Wake up.
Right, your turn.
So yeah, you wake him up. He takes your place on the rock in the cave mouth. As you come over, the tabaxi also sort of change watch as well, and they go back and they wake up too. And they take a similar sort of place in the cave mouth as the other two, and they start playing a similar sort of game, but they are a little bit noisier actually. They're actually talking a little bit more than the first two did. And halfway into your watch, one of them sort of perks his ears up and looks out into the dark. And looks at you and goes, shh.
All right, I'm presuming that my wild elven friend is around. Can't see him, he's in the dark, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm basically at the back of the cave.
I shall remain silent then. My hand slowly reaches to the hilt of my sword as I sense the...
Don't forget I'm curled up very close to you as well.
Right.
Because I'm not sleeping with the rest of them. And I'd rather one of us was washing over me as I'm holding the thing.
And the one that signaled you to be quiet, sort of like looks at you as your hand goes to your sword, and he says, he sort of waves you down as an indication it's all right, and says something in a language you don't understand. And then you see a figure moving into the cave, and you notice it's the tabaxi that Torak sent out earlier on, returning. He comes into the cave and speaks quietly with the other two on guard, and starts unwrapping his the headgear.
Okay.
And,
I'll quizzically at him.
And the one that was on guard says something to you, but you don't understand him.
I don't understand.
The one that's come back moves into the cave and goes and sort of crouches next to Torak and shakes him awake and whispers to him for a while. And Torak sort of like rubs his eyes and gets up has a bit of a stretch and sort of comes over to Sir Bayor and says, the man that came back says your pursuers eventually broke off the search and headed south to the temple. There they met the others, and they headed back east.
No?
He says they're now camped somewhere on the in the foothills on this side of the mountain.
Right. Beyond the pass that we'd be taking?
Yes, past beyond the pass.
Good.
I think they must be thinking that you'll be going back the way you came.
Right. I'll just take a quick look out of the cave. Does it look like it's dawn over here soon?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're looking west at the moment, but yeah, you could well be getting lighter outside.
Yeah, I think it's about time we started getting ready. So I shall. Sorry, Rorik. Just start waking everyone up. With a slight shake on the shoulder.
He says, and Torek says, we can guide you as far as the forest, and we will try and cover your passage. He said.
You have been extremely helpful. If I am ever this way and you're in need of help yourselves, then I shall assist.
He says, that is very kind of you. He says, as I say, we do try to help anybody in trouble in the desert. You never know when it's going to be you that needs the help.
Exactly. Well, we'll start rousing everyone, and then we can get our kit together, get the horses rubbed down and ready.
As I get up, I sort of immediately check the pocket where the stone is and make sure it's still there.
Okay, you do that. Okay, so you did it pretty secretly. How you do that?
I kind of adjust my clothes, and as I because I'm not wearing my wrappings now either, so I just adjust the belt pouches, and as I do so, I'm kind of squeezing the pocket to see if there's anything in there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That goes unnoticed. Then you're just getting ready for the day. Okay. So they say we are going to leave a couple of people here, but the rest of us will escort you to the forest. We will be heading back this way after you leave us. So, if you're ready, please mount your horses and follow us. And Rack and about 5 others mount camels or lead the camels out of the cave.
Yeah. Could be a bit dangerous mounting up inside a cave.
Yeah. So out down the stone path and around this side of the big boulder they brought you around yesterday. And you can see the desert stretching out in front of you as the sun comes up. He says the forest is a couple of hours back, east ways, he says. I recommend you stick to the path through the forest. Don't deviate from it.
Indeed.
So, as in the dawn light, you're sort of like heading towards the rising sun as you move along the edge of the mountains. And soon you see a few stunted bare trees. There's no leaves, just very grey looking, almost white wood, trunk branches, almost bone-like, these trees. And soon they get more and more, and they start getting thicker and thicker. And the ground they're standing on still looks pretty sandy, actually. So it's very high in that area. and you go past the trees for about half an hour before you reach what would appear to be a pathway. Basically, it's the largest break in the tree line. He says, this is the path to the base of the mountain, he says. But I think you will need to hurry. There are great dangers. Don't stop. Don't leave the path.
Should I take point?
Yeah. I shall offer my hand to shake his hand if that's what they do.
He sort of like looks at you, looks down at your hand, and sort of like doesn't know what to do.
Grasp my hand.
So yeah, you grab his hand like you show him what to do. And he sort of smiles in a cat-like way, showing his teeth. And he says,
Nice.
"Hi, and good luck to you all," he says.
And you too.
Keep that thing safe and away from evil.
We shall do our best.
I nod to Sabayer and say, "It's in the ears. You say bye with the ears."
I'll try to wiggle my ears
And
underneath my helmet. You can't see. Yeah.
as you turn to go into the forest, he's sort of like, as he's sitting there, and each one of you has to pass him. And as Kat is passing Torek, he says, "Good luck with your new tribe. Don't let them down."
My Clouder can depend on me. It's a shame that can't be said for all Tabaxi.
He's reluctant to use Clouder to refer to anything that's not Tabaxi.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But yes, failing. If you would range ahead, that would be good.
Once we're clear of them, I want to take that stone out the pocket and see it with my own eyes.
Okay, so yeah, what they'll do is they'll ride out into the desert a little bit and sort of keep watch for any sort of like they're just covering your back effectively. Their plan is if anyone turns up, they will sort of like keep their distance and harry them with bow fire, try and draw them off. So as you advance into the forest, and it is a very strange place. It is quiet, very eerie. These white bone trees are all around you, very dry, very brittle looking. But it seems to be, strangely, as soon as you get under these branches, it seems to be a lot darker in here than you think it should be in the early morning. Even though there's no foliage, it's almost like you will be under leaves, under foliage. So it's very much darker in the forest than it would be out on the outside of it.
Well, I'm going to take point and I'm going to move ahead. Well, I'm going to try to move probably about between 10 and 15 foot ahead. Not too far that I can't speak to the other group, but far enough so I can keep an eye on things and warn them if anything's happening. I want to basically see if we get the group continue to move at a pace rather than not fast, and not slowly, even not stealthily, just sort of move at a trot if you can. So keep an eye open for anything that could damage horses or any ambushes or anything that looks untoward. I'm more at home in the woods anyway, really, in these sort of environments.
Okay. As you move off into the forest, you hear a call from behind you, from Torek behind you. And he says, a storm to the west. Sorry, to the east. Look out, a storm. He goes back to you.
A storm?
Yes.
Well, if this forest is quite dense, it'll break up the storm, I reckon.
Well, there's no leaves on the forest. It's just dead wood.
Yeah, he said it was quite dense, didn't you? Quite a dense, thick.
Well, it is. I mean, it's still open to the sky, but it seems a lot darker underneath than what it should do.
All right.
Is there
Well,
any way we can
still
shut it?
And then, as you look up, you see like almost like a bright cloud sort of starts appearing above you, and it's almost got different colours in it, almost like a multicoloured storm cloud. It's forming above you, and it rolls and churns into the valley, and it seems to sort of centre itself above where you are, and it's spreading out and drops low down over the trees. And the boughs of the trees start swaying and creaking in strengthening gusts. The weaker branches break and fall off. Then the first rain comes like bullets on a tin roof, really pelting down hard. Then thunder flashes from above and thunder booms, and a strong wind starts to roar.
Do we feel in danger from this storm?
Yes, very much so.
Okay, gather round, everyone, gather round. I'll make an impromptu camp right here where we'll be safe.
What?
It'll be cramped, but it'll be safe and we can ride out the storm.
But all we've got is wood.
No, you've got me. Better than any tribe of tabaxi.
Well, do your thing.
But do it
I ran
quick.
the staff of power into the ground, and around it forms a globe of. It's actually a. I know the name of this. It's a globe of invulnerability, which I believe lasts quite some time, but it can't move. If I recall the spell correctly, it's just like a 10-foot diameter sphere that nothing can enter.
Okay, it's like a hemisphere. Okay.
Yeah, if I remember the spell right, I don't have the book here, but I remember using it once before on a dragon there when we basically had a TPK and I kind of waited for it all to end and then waltzed off.
Lightning flashes down and hits several trees near you. What is the globe of what's it called? Sorry.
It's a globe of invulnerability. If it doesn't do what I think it does, then it's not what we're going to do. But from my recollection,
just going to need to look a second just to see what it does.
Oh, I do have a player's handbook right here. From my recollection, it's completely impervious and lasts a long time, but it can't move. You know, we're stuck there.
Globe of invulnerability. 580. Okay, so casting time, 1 action, radius 10 feet, and concentration to 1 minute. Sorcerer or wizard. I don't know.
Oh, duration up to a minute.
No.
Bugger.
Mm.
I thought it lasted longer.
Shimmering barrier, 10-foot radius. So
Damn it.
Affect any objects within it, even if its spell is cast among slots.
Damn it! It's not as good as I thought.
So I guess we're not doing that.
I guess not. It must be a greater globe or something that I was thinking of. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Damn it. Sorry, ignore all of that wonderful RP for a moment.
Okay. So as the thunder flashes and the lightning flashes and the thunder booms, can you each make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Okay, sorry, everybody.
Over vulnerability.
Ooh, 20.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. First roll, that's an 18.
That's an 8 for me.
Okay.
It's not the lowest, babe. It's not the lowest.
Well,
I got a finally get there. A 10. Oh, yeah, 10.
10. Okay.
Plus, yeah.
Okay, so everybody apart from Valen takes 2d6 thunder damage.
Okay.
Fine.
And you're deafened for 5 minutes.
Ooh, okay.
So if you can move forward, you're going to have to rely on Valen.
Well, I was leading anyway, so I'll continue doing that. Trying to keep as close as we can to thick, as thick as. Are we going under the thickest parts of the canopy and so forth to keep as much weather off us as
So
possible?
there's not much shelter. It's just branches.
Yeah, but what I'm going to try to do is just keep it so we're not falling under heavy branches that may land on our heads. Or the other thing we've got to worry about is lightning hitting anybody wearing metal armor. Not that I want to give a GM any ideas or anything.
Yeah.
But it's something that's not wearing metal armor.
Lightning bolt.
All right. Mine's aluminium. I'll be all right.
Stainless steel.
Magnesium.
Okay, so as you sort of try to keep under these trees, as you're being led forward by Valiant, you start feeling your clothes catching on twigs and things, and then it seems to be more and more of a problem. Can you all roll me dex save and throw, please?
Yeah.
Start trying to hack it with a sword.
16.
16, sorry.
Dex save. Why did I roll another 4? Fuck's sake, that's a 6.
Sorry, what was yours, Jay?
19. I rolled a 12 in my next 7. So
Switching d20 after that.
I got a 17 this time.
17. Okay. As these twigs and branches seems to snag all of your clothes, but actually, Rorik, you can actually get tripped over. You trip over a branch that seems to have swung out and from nowhere and just tripped you up.
Mm-hmm.
And these branches seem to be sort of trying to grasp your clothes as they're blowing in the wind. They are almost trying to grab you.
Yeah.
are we riding or are we walking?
It's up to you.
Because I'm riding, so I presume everybody else was, but because obviously that may change something.
It does, yeah.
Not,
Okay, so
you can't trip. You can't trip.
it'll trip the horse.
Well, I implied it would be on foot because we were sort of gathering around
Yeah, well, we
in
didn't.
the shelter.
Yeah, well, we didn't.
If it's that bad, we'd be better off walking and leading the horses and sheltering against this downpour.
But in any case, I get out my sword and start trying to hack these dead branches off.
Yeah, you can hack the dead branches. They break quite easily. They seem very brittle, but when they're actually trying to grab you, they seem quite flexible, but brittle when you hit them. Then the rain changes slightly, and it starts stinging as it hits bare skin. Who is wearing headgear?
Not me.
I would be.
No.
What cloak are we wearing? I'm guessing.
What's Cat wearing?
Very little now.
Naked.
You start. This rain starts stinging as it hits you.
Is this what it's like without wrappings?
And the wind picks up again and starts blowing, and it starts blowing into your eyes and stinging all of you. This seems to be a very, very strange storm. As you look up, you see the clouds actually changing colours.
Yipes.
Yeah, this has been directed upon us.
When you Are you still moving forward?
Yeah, keep
Yeah, yeah.
pushing.
Oh, yeah, trying to.
Okay, still moving forward. You, if you could roll me dex again, please.
Another
Oh dear. 6.
6.
I rolled number 12, so 19.
So I changed to another die, and I still roll an effing 4.
Is that D4 you're rolling?
Nope, definitely not a D4. So that's another 6. Wow.
This time, and Rorik are tripped
Uh-oh.
and fall to the ground. And again, the trees sort of trying to grasp at you, trying to hold you down and pull you in.
I shall assist if I'm next in line or if I see this occurrence.
Well, you're going to be close to them if Valen's in front. You're going to be between them or behind one of them.
What order are you walking in? Because I'm in front. Who's behind me? Just so we know, because it might be worth having this knowledge, might it? Because
Yeah. Rorik next, maybe?
it's probably a good idea that we all kind of hold link in some way or another, just in case one of us, if it's a strong storm, in case one of us wanders off or gets lost or falls over or...
Well, at the moment, most of us are deaf.
Exactly, which is another reason why we should link, really. So I've got my bow, so you can hold on to my bow.
Okay, you can hold on to the reins of your horse and the tail of the one in front or something.
Well, we'll be holding on to our horses, won't we, because we're guiding them, but if anyone wants to hold on to my bow, whoever's behind me, then whoever's behind him can hold on to their sword or whatever, or staff or whatever. And then at least that way we'll be in a line, we won't get lost or we'll know if somebody falls.
Okay, again, you move forward. The rain suddenly stops. The burning rain suddenly stops. And let me see. Got for Valen, you're suddenly hit on the forehead by a hailstone. and then another. And then another. And they're getting bigger. And they're getting heavier. And they're getting more frequent. Then everybody's getting hit by them.
Who's got shields?
Yeah, I definitely get my shield out.
Well, we need to gather under the shields to a hailstorm for us. I think we can't walk any further in there.
Okay, the hails are getting quite big and quite heavy, and the horses are getting a bit spooked now.
Yeah,
Getting hit by these hailstones.
not much we can do about it, unfortunately.
Well,
Okay, you all gathering under the 2 shields?
Yeah, we've got two.
there were 3.
Yeah, 3 shields.
3 shields.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you
My
get
squire.
Can you roll me, each one roll me dex saving throw, please?
If I roll for a 12,
If I get another plus-
18.
Good, 12.
Oh, slightly better. I got an 11.
11.
Yeah, 16.
I
Okay,
rolled
so
for a 12, which makes me 19. The third 12 in a row. That's quite good. That's one 12. That's a 3, so that's different.
okay, so everybody who got over 14, can you is okay. Everyone else 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
Nice to see the DM's having a bit of fun. So my health points are okay. Yay
And
for
with-
second best attribute in Constitution.
And with the hails comes gusts of freezing wind roaring up from the south, which is obviously really strange for the desert, but freezing rain, almost like in the fog. The terrain becomes quite difficult and is heavily obscured. Dust is blowing up from the ground, hails are pouring down, beating into you. Are you approaching under these shields and staying where you're put? Or are you forging on?
Is the hail finished?
No, the hail's still going on.
We'll stay under the shields until the hail's gone. Can't keep moving because we'll be injuries from it. It's just too much. Hell can't keep up forever, can it? I could hope. I just think if we keep on having to do con checks, we're all going to end up dead before we get out of this forest. That's some whole thing.
Okay, so yeah, you spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes under your shields, getting battered by these this wind and the hails bouncing off of the shields, and then all of a sudden it just stops, and there's an eerie silence and just water dripping from the trees. Dead broken branches lie all around you, and,
Right, well, now we move.
piles of hails.
We're going to move as quickly as we can.
We must make good time whilst we can, I agree.
Get out of this forest as quick as possible, I think.
Okay, so are you mounting now?
Yeah, if we can.
Yeah.
Okay, you're mounting and you moving at speed up the path through the forest.
I'll still keep point and I'll still keep an eye on the path ahead and stuff.
Okay, you can make it to what you think is it seems to be a fork in the road. It's a bit confusing as it doesn't look like a path, but you're going to have to make a decision, left or right. The left way looks wider, looks like the path you've been on, but the path to the right looks a little bit more just like a larger opening in between trees.
Which one takes us the direction we need to go in?
Both taking the direction you need to go in. You can see from quite a way ahead through the trees, because obviously there's nothing obscuring you because it's just bare ground. And both paths just seem to get lost in amongst the trees. There's no indication of which is the right path.
Is there still storm clouds above us?
There are storm clouds there still, but they've raised up away from you more.
Right.
We should take the one that looks like it's the trail rather than an
Or should we
offshoot.
take the one that's furthest from the storm?
The storm is right above. It's covering the whole area.
Right above us, isn't it?
It's right above you. Yeah, it's engulfing the whole forest. The storm.
In which case we must, as Sabeo says.
So what do you want to do? Which way do you want to go?
They both continue on as bare forest, do they?
Yes, they both do. Yeah.
The wider one.
Yeah, but that might be the obvious thing, mightn't it, to do the wider path. Often the path of less sort of being less travelled is often the safest one, isn't it?
And if the path vanishes, we can turn around.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
The paths seem to travel alongside each other for quite a while.
They seem to head in the same direction. Yes, they do seem to go parallel for a certain amount of time, as far as you can see, anyway.
But it shouldn't be too hard to find the other path if you need to. Do? We just basically cut across the forest.
I don't think that's wise.
No, but in case we need to, desperately we can do. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Follow the path that is most obviously a continuation of the path, as Sabeo says. And if it ceases to be an obvious path, we turn around and take the other one.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Let's do that then.
Otherwise, we'll be mighty fools for having gone the wrong way when the other way was clearly still the path.
yeah.
So you've made your decision. You start off down the path.
Yep, the wider path. Yes.
The wider path. Yeah, it remains a fairly wide path. Should we just have a quick break there, and I'll get a drink?
Yeah, sure.
Just put back on that.
Wow.
Let's get drunk. Back in just a sec.
Yeah, I'll see see in a second or two. Yeah.
Is that? That is hardcover. Okay.
Okay.
Yay, I remembered to mute when I went to the bathroom. As a first for the stream.
I don't know if we've got anyone on YouTube this time, have we?
Yeah, Steve's watching.
Hi,
He
Steve.
says, choose your path and your doom. Mwahaha.
Yes, we have Steve.
Path and doom, one and the same. Choose your path.
I thought the name Torak sounded familiar.
Oh.
Yes, it reminded me of a series of books I had in my childhood, which I'm half tempted to pick up again, called The Chronicles of Ancient Darkness.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, I wondered if you'd heard of them or if it was just luck. It's what kind of it's not like cavemen, it's a bit after then. They're kind of hunter-gatherer. Pre-Ice Age, I think it is. And they have like their own clans, like there's a wolf clan and a bear clan and a whale clan and shit like that. Yeah, I really love those books. They were really, really visual.
Okay. No, I don't know that. Not aware of that.
Oh yeah, the Raven clan, I remember them. They were like really twatty or something.
Despite the very generic premise, yeah?
Yeah. Well, they're kids' books, but I like them.
Oh, right.
I was thinking more of the video game, actually.
Video game? Which one?
isn't it? I thought it was. Let's see what it does. Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, we're just doing something else a second.
Goody.
Anyway. Yes, so you start down the path, heading northwards. Suddenly the trees open out into a great wide space. You can see this looks like the end of the forest as it gets wider and wider and wider, and in front of you is the mountain growing up, huge in front of you. All of a sudden the clouds seem to boil and get suddenly darker. The way towards the mountain seems fairly clear now ahead of you. And as you ride upwards, lightning forks from the clouds and strikes the ground in several places. And as the ground buckles beneath the sheer power of the lightning, it seems to bulge up and out, and a great black shape each rises from each lightning strike.
Nice.
Seems to be shiny, black, armored, with a huge arching tail over the back.
So you're saying he's every time a lightning strikes, his fins appear?
Yes. Every time the lightning hits the ground buckles up, it opens up, and these things rise up from the ground.
Right. How many are there?
There are 5. Between you and the mountain.
I get out my sword.
Looks like we have a fight on our hands.
Just deflect it with your shield.
You start moving towards you, pincers. What are you going to do?
Check my spell descriptions.
I will protect Kat, because she is the most likely person to know what these things even are.
Yeah. I shall refrain from charging into the midst of them for a few moments.
Are you staying mounted, or are you getting off your horse?
I think remaining mounted maybe pertinent. Yeah.
What about Valen? What are you doing? Are you staying mounted?
Are there trees nearby, or
Sorry?
are there trees nearby?
The trees are behind you. You've exited, but they're close by.
Then I'm going to basically, I'm mounted anyway, so I'm going to jump onto my saddle and jump from my saddle onto a tree.
Okay. So, have you decided what you're up to, Kat, or?
I think we've got a fight.
Okay, so these things advance on you. Can we have some initiative, please?
No.
Not initiative.
I refuse.
19.
19?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh! Apparently I do refuse, because I got a 1.
I rolled 19, I've got 5, that's 24.
And an 11 for me.
My rolls have been atrocious.
Okay. So,
I only get bad rolls when I start actually rolling to attack. I'll start rolling ones.
Natural 1.
Okay, so Bailey, you get first action. What do you want to do?
I want to throw an arrow at one of these things.
Okay, so the first one moves in on you.
Okay, I'll shoot an arrow at it. Oh, I told you I'll start rolling really badly once I've actually done. I rolled a 3, 11.
What,
So
goes
your
around
arrow
the
goes
way?
glancing off the armor on its
Yeah.
back, pins off into the dust somewhere. So next is Cat.
Well, just checking another page. Damn. Alright, in that case, how many can I get in the area effect of a fireball?
Which is how big?
I'm just working it out. So it's cast as 5th level. Never referred to the book so much as when you gave me a staff with spells that aren't in my actual spell list. Area effect. 20-foot radius centered on a sphere that centered on a point that I decide.
Okay, if you decide the right one, you can get 3.
Okay, I'll do that then, because that should thin the herd a little. So I aim the staff of power and point directly at that spot, and they all have to make dex saving throws.
Of
DC is 14.
14. Oh, that's an 18. So it's 20. Oh, right, okay. You hit 2.
Right, the one that misses still takes half damage.
Okay.
And the damage I'm just rolling now. $34. Overpowered item is overpowered.
4 each, you mean?
Yeah, 34 on the 2 that failed, and 17 on the one that passed.
Okay.
That's how we say hello in Tabaxi.
The two got hit are sort of like are flailing around. They flipping over and release the legs and the tail and are going and really flapping about on the floor. They flip over onto the backs and the actions slowly get slower and slower and slower until they're still. They shake and go dead still. The other one sort of like is badly burnt along one side. It's lost a leg on one side as well. The front leg has been burnt off, caught in the flame, and the rest of the other 2 legs and the side of the body and tail is quite badly burnt, but it still moves forward. The other 2 are continuing forward, coming in from the outside. So you've got 3 in the middle, effectively.
Over to you guys.
So Baylor, you're next.
I shall rein over towards the ones that aren't injured. The one on my right.
One on either side, so you're going right, okay.
I will go right, and I will utter an oath of vengeance upon it. You will feel my wrath, I shall say. Which, if effectively, it gives me advantage for the next minute against this single opponent.
Okay.
Apparently, which is nice. Until it gets to 0 hit points. Yeah, there you are. Take this. And then I shall lay about it with vengeance, my sword. And if I can find it, here we go. Choppy chop. Oh, that's a 19.
Oh, that's a hit.
And it does 11 points. That's, I think that might be, yep, that might have almost maxed out. That's a good one. 11 points for the first strike.
Okay, you strike and you badly, the arm behind the claw, you badly slash that and cut it open. But it does now strike back at you.
Yeah.
With its other claw for a 24.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That does 3 points of damage. It's not gripped you more than sort of like slashed it, but a very pointed claw across you.
Yeah.
Third one, did you say you're in front of Cat, Rorik?
Yes, I'm protecting her.
Okay, the burnt one advances on you then after the person has fired the fireball at it. He advances on you and slashes forward with a pathetic 3. Obviously, it's having a lot of problems after its burn.
That is a huge dope of nope.
The left-hand side one advances in. Where is it really? Obviously, Valen's in a tree. Cat is so Valen's on the right-hand side. So actually, this has come after Cat and Rorik as well. This uninjured one from the left for a 19 on Rorik.
That's a tie.
Oh, okay.
That's a hit.
It's a hit. Is it? 4. Another 3. Damn it! This 8 dice is crap. Yeah, for 3 points of damage on you.
Okay.
Obviously, you were distracted by dealing with the one in front of you. And it's now your go, Rorik.
Yes, finally. Okay, so I'm going to attack that one. Isn't there another one really close by as well?
So Bayor is tackling one.
Okay,
The
alright.
damaged one is in front of you, and the other one is to your left.
Okay, I'll just deal with one in front of me then for now. And give it a choppy chop here. Hey, that's better. That's 19.
That's a hit.
It is indeed. That's 13.
Okay, 13. Okay, so you've as it comes forward with its one unwounded, undamaged claw snapping at you, you manage to jab into the sort of mandibles, and it reels back, screeching. It's been quite badly hurt.
I'm going to use second wind as well as my bonus action because I've just realised how much health I don't have. And of course I rolled terribly. Right, okay. Gives me a few hit points back. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So it's now back to the top with Phelan.
Right, so I'm going to basically shoot one again.
Which one? The one with Bayor or the 2 on Rorik?
One of them on your. Yeah.
It's one uninjured one and one injured one.
I'll go for the uninjured.
Okay.
So here we go. Oh, 12. So that's a 20.
That's a hit.
Yay. And the damage is, oh God, 1, 5, 6 points of damage.
Okay, so 6 points of damage. It flinches as the arrow hits it inside, finding a joint in the armor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then it's back to Cat again.
I reach up to the back of Rorik's arm and I tear the shadow out from underneath its arm so that it enters full light, and as I do so the shadow rips and tears into a jagged, roughly sword-like shape. The shadow itself screams in agony as I yank it free of its arm, and then using the half-dwarf as a prop I come over the top and try to strike down on the injured scorpion. And rolled 11, so I promptly miss.
That's a miss.
It's a dramatic miss, that's good.
But it was a very dramatic miss. Sir Bayor.
Yep, the same man, the same beastie. Yep. I shall swing down hard upon it. Furious vengeance.
That's beastie.
Ooh, that's a crit.
Ooh.
Or do you roll? It's actually worked out for me on roll 20 and it ended up at 21 points. Are we taking that or shall I?
Damage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we'd always say double damage for a crit.
Yeah. Well, that's probably what it ended up at. It's either my first roll was a 13, so it's either 26 or 21.
Okay.
I'll take 26.
Okay, so what you managed to just, as the claws are flying around, you managed to bring your sword up and down, cleaving it across the above the mandibles, and it sort of shakes and it's like a death throw, and his legs go out and it falls to the floor, leaking a green leprous sort of boiled blood out onto the sand.
Pull the horse away. Don't get that stuff on its hooves.
Okay, so one in front of Rorik comes again in, slapping with its one claw for 17.
Niet.
17 is a miss. Okay, so it misses with its claw. The one to your left, however, is sort of like favouring one side since Valen's arrow has hit it. His claws have stopped snapping, but its tail flicks down towards you.
Mm-hmm.
For an 18.
Still a miss.
Okay, still a miss. Okay, and lands at your feet, digging into the ground. Back to Valen.
Me?
No, Rorik, sorry.
Yeah, as it lands at my feet, I'm gonna try and cut it down.
Oh, cut his tail off?
No, I probably cut my own legs off with that lovely natural one. That's 2 natural ones. What the hell?
You got a natural one?
Yes, a natural
Oh,
one.
shit. Okay, so you swing and just completely miss, and sort of like you miss your footing on the gravel as you swing and fall backwards and just end up sitting on the ground in front of this tail that's between your legs now, just in the ground.
I pulled a tendon.
As it pulls out of the ground and raises back up above you. Now it's back to Valen.
Well, I'm going to shoot Rorik and put him out of his misery.
I'm not quite out of my misery.
So no, I'll shoot the. I'll attempt to shoot the actual stingy thing that's going to hit Rorik.
The tail, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Can I use my inspiration and get
You can
advantage?
do an advantage.
What does that actually mean?
Roll 2d20s and take the best.
Oh, I'll take the highest. Do I? Okay, so I rolled a 13. A 19. So it's better than 19. Well, it doesn't even make a difference really because it's +8. So it's either a 27 or a 21.
Yeah, it's a hit.
So it's a hit, whatever way. I do 7 and 4, so 11 points of damage.
Okay. 11 points of damage. Okay, so you've hit you're aiming at the top.
Oh,
of the
no,
tail.
sorry. I don't know why I keep doing that. I keep rolling a d6. That's not a d6, it's just 6. So I do 13 points of damage.
Oh, okay. So, what was I going to say? You're aiming at the stinger on top.
Yeah.
Okay, so you aim at the stinger on top and you hit the poison sac that starts leaking out down the tail. Okay, so Cat, it's up to you. What do you want to do?
It's just this one in front of me, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. As Rorik hits the floor, and I kind of step over him and pirouette around and try to follow through with this screaming shadow from his arm. Oh, balls. 11.
That's a miss. Again, you swipe just above it. So
It was dramatic.
It is very dramatic. Sir Bayor.
Yes. Reining in the horse, I shall spur him over to the fight and strike down as I'm riding past whichever one's closest. I would guessing it would be the burnt one, if that's.
No, that one's gone. It's just this one now.
All right. Burnt one is gone. Right. Well, I shall strike at the other one with the punctured sack. Well, that would be. Oh yeah, I'm no longer on advantage. So that's a 25.
Yep, that's a hit.
Doing 12 points of damage.
Okay, so Bill rides over and manages to deliver the coup de grace to this thing as he rides past. He slices it along the back from head to the base of the tail, and as it falls to the ground, the back sort of opens up, and all this green ichor pours out down the body onto the ground.
Okay.
So all of them are gone.
And as the last one falls, the sword in my hand, the shadow just starts flaking away, and then as it flakes away, each little flake starts heading back onto Rorik's arm.
Yeah, Rorik looks a bit shaken by the fact you've just pulled his shadow out, and so he dusts himself down and says, "Next time you do that, at least warn me."
Okay, so the way ahead of you is now clear to the mountain.
Is anyone? Well, some of you look badly injured.
The clouds
Right.
start to lift and dissipate now.
We should rest at the base of the mountain, maybe find a cave or something, somewhere suitable at the base of the mountain, hopefully.
Yes, I agree.
But we could take a short rest now, perhaps. Brackets OOP, hit dice, close bracket.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to take a short rest now or not?
I think it would be good to actually.
Okay.
Worse off than me.
You can take a short rest at the moment. Take a bit of water.
Hey, that's what I like to see on the con die.
Take some rest.
Shall we take a quick 10-minute one to use our hit dice and stuff?
If that's what you want to do, yeah, you can take a break. Sit down. You attend to any wounds you picked up, but the smell from the dead bodies, actually, from this green stuff that's oozing out, is a little bit overpowering. So you don't spend too long there, and you soon decide to move on.
Yeah.
Are you going to still take a rest at the base of the mountain, or are you going to go straight up now?
Well, I'm okay.
I'm good as anything.
Okay, so
I'm
you
good to go.
can wander up this. You can ride up this valley now, which is getting steeper and steeper as you go. The valley is starting to narrow, getting narrower and narrower into a thin track, so you have to ride single file. The ground is quite stony. After the cold you experienced in the forest, it's starting to warm up again. As you reach the foot of the mountain, and you can find the path up, and it is looking fairly narrow, so it will be like a single file path all the way up the mountain as far as you can see. As you start off, are you keeping on horseback?
Yeah.
Only if the ground's firm.
Yeah, not
Yes.
You're fairly low down. You can stay on horseback at this stage. It's a bit of a twisty path. It obviously goes up. It's quite a steep mountain, so there's almost like a lot of switchbacks as it winds its way up the hill, up the mountain. Soon it sort of straightens out a bit and starts to wind itself almost around the side of the mountain. And at this point, the path starts to get narrower and narrower. And it might be better for you if you get off and lead horses rather than ride. And the path is getting steeper and steeper as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
As the path gets steeper, you can actually see after a number of hours, you've actually gained quite a bit of height because this is so steep. You've gained quite a bit of height, and you can see the forest below you, and you can see out into the desert, and you can see some shapes moving on the sand beyond the desert, but you're too distant to recognise anything of what they could be. And as you move around the side of the mountain, that sort of passes out of sight from you, and you can see ahead of you now green lands stretching away to the north, under rain clouds further north, and it disappears into like a rain shower far to the north. But you're still wandering up. You're still going up and up and up, and it starts to get a bit cold now. You've come out of the warm air that's close to the ground. The sun was just warming up, and you've gone up higher, and it's getting quite cold. Before it actually turns, the path starts turning downwards. It is quite a struggle. The path is very steep here, and you're actually doing a bit of climbing with your horses. You're actually making your horses climb over quite large stones to get up the path. But then all of a sudden it sort of levels out for like maybe 10 or 12 feet before it tips down sharply, and you're on your way down the north side of the mountain face. That path is quite stony, it's quite narrow, it is quite dangerous here. But you can ride. You can walk down your horses down to a place where it's safe to ride again. Here you can mount, and you can make pretty good time as the road seems to improve a little bit down. And as soon as you find yourself in a wider, greener valley with pine trees that seems to start to close in on either side of you, and you can follow a stream down the centre of the valley into the trees. But all this is actually after the fight and the mountain climb. Can you take a point of exhaustion? You can't climb the mountain and then the other side without being a bit tired about it.
Oh, I know that. I was kind of waiting for it, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, but you get down." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so maybe he's not going to give it," and then you go.
You get down, so you're in this like high pasture in this fairly shallow valley with these pine trees, and you can follow the stream down to the trees and into the forest. And where are you going from here?
We need to find a place for a night's rest, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'd imagine surely it's at least getting dark by this point.
It is getting dark now, yeah. As you reach the forest, it is getting dark.
And we already had a disturbed night the night before.
You go under the trees to make your camp.
Yeah. Definitely a lot easier in this heat, though.
Are there any villages near?
You don't know, not this side of the trees, definitely. There'll be
Okay.
more out on the plain where the farmland is.
Oh, then we'll have to make camp in the wild then.
I sort of look at you though to say, well, what's the problem?
Fireplace.
Are you liking a camp?
We can make a fire. I don't see why we can't. We're far enough away.
Given we're being pursued, we should only do so if we can create it in a place where it won't be seen from far.
I mean, you can go into the forest far enough that the trees would screen fire
Yeah,
from the mountain.
that's what I thought we were
We've got
probably
enough
sort of in there.
enough branches to make a fire break, and we could actually build a little kind of branch, sort of entwined wall to block any.
You could do that as well. Yeah, you can certainly do that. So you make a little bit of a break with these branches, and you can build your fire, and you can find a fairly nice spot, fairly close to the stream, so you can get some fresh water.
What I might do while they're lighting the fire is climb up a tree just to make sure we're definitely not being, pursued in the near vicinity.
Okay.
Around.
Which way? Where you've come, or in front of you?
Probably the way we've come.
Okay, so you can walk back to the edge of the forest. You can see nothing moving on the mountain.
Okay. Good.
Does anyone else want to do anything while you're taking a break?
Curl up in front of the fire and sleep.
Did you say you're checking the stone again, or?
Oh, yeah. At this point, I think it just becomes force of habit every couple of hours.
Okay, we
Precious.
actually can take it and look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. You notice it's actually changed colour and it's gone a lot darker.
Mm.
And if you look into the stone, you can see almost what looks like faint points of light inside the stone.
Okay. I'm going to wrap that stone up thoroughly. In fact, I'm going to wrap it in my old wrappings and then put it in the pouch. Okay. The Emperor knows when we're going to arrive. That's a problem.
Have we decided what we're going to do with this thing yet? How are we going to destroy it and get rid of it?
Well, you have to use one stone to destroy the other.
Right. But we can't, I don't think it'd be wise to approach the other stone with this stone in hand, in case we lose both stones, I guess. So we're not to leave it somewhere where we get the other stone.
It would be dangerous, but the thing is, as this stone gets closer, I feel I'm beginning to be able to see the other stone. So that becomes a problem as well.
We need to work out a way of doing this without actually risking both stones if we end up losing both of them or whatever.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe we have to acquire both of them.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, but we don't want to acquire the second one whilst holding the first, if you like.
I have a suggestion if it actually works in out of character in the game world. My Sir Bayar's order, they had a chantry not too far to the south of the main city, which from where we are now could be just a slight detour. Perhaps we could go there.
It's too close. From here, I'm already seeing points of light in the stone.
Right.
Things shining through from, I presume, wherever the other stone is kept. I mean, it's possible that the dots of light are something else, but I fear these two stones are becoming one as they get closer. I fear it can see the other. It certainly senses it. And if I can see the other stone, then the other stone can certainly see this one. I mean, I could check again as we get closer.
And maybe then we shouldn't get, if that's the case, then should we not bring the stone too close? So then we can go grab the other stone.
We can't leave this anywhere, especially if they can see this stone.
If we take it with us, they'll know we're coming.
Then maybe we need a plan where we announce we're coming.
Okay, so you did, you haven't used it yet, but before you left, you did have a contact spell for Cressida.
I did, yes.
You haven't used that yet. You can use that to set something up with her. You could...
Yeah, we don't want to give it to her, though.
You're looking at hiding this thing somewhere, or...
All I'm thinking is if we take the stone with us to get the first stone, then we'll end up risking both stones. Because they're going to have a lot more men than we have. Because they've got an army. So we don't want to be taking that second stone in, because if we lose both, then that's basically we've done exactly the opposite of what you want to do. Whereas if you take if you leave the first stone somewhere, the second stone somewhere, then go get the first, then even if we die or we don't get it, they still haven't got the second stone, and the chances are they still don't know where it is. If we're far enough away from them, then this doesn't matter how linked they think, they're going to have to go looking for it anyway.
How close are my people?
Well, as close as possible. Where do you want to originate from? Where do you want your order to originate, or your clan?
They were from the hills, sort of when they're near the centre.
Okay, it could be further east if you wanted. There is a mountain range further east, which is like past Huthwaite, which is probably further away. Or there could be, if you wanted, to the west, more directly south of Radcliffe, but on this mountain range, but on the northern side of it.
I could metakin, so yes, they're obviously there. But no, I think I did say they were more east originally.
Okay, so the east, which would mean you there's a big distance between the mountains and Huthwaite, which is the capital. So you could travel across country to the mountains if you wanted.
Do I know roughly how long that will take?
It's going to take you a few days.
Yes. Might take too long.
No, it might just work. Well, probably won't be expecting us to do that.
No. They might not even know that my clan is there.
Well, they do know of your clan, though, don't they? Because people have heard of your clan.
They've heard of me.
Well, that's true, yeah. You keep saying that I'm of this clan, don't you?
That's true, yeah. Here's my phone number whilst you're at it.
So, as you sit around the fire discussing what your next move, it starts to get darker and darker. Okay, but you're under the trees now, and the pine from the wood you're burning starts to fill the air. And for the first time in quite a while, you can relax quite a bit, because obviously the night before you were on guard because you were these people you didn't know. The night before that, you were at the temple. So this is the most relaxing time you've had since for quite a while. But it gives you a chance to discuss what your next move is. It's 11:15. Did you want to leave it there and make a decision out again, or did you want to carry on the discussion?
I need to ponder this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's ponder. Out of game.
Okay, we can leave it there for tonight.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good, actually. Everyone can level up.
Oh,
Yes!
let's do that then.
I mean, how good? Yes. Thank you.
I feel a dignified thank you is in order.
In fact,
You realise I think it's only going to get worse.
why did I just close my character sheet? Do we get rid of our exhaustion?
If you take an 8 hours rest, yes.
So,
Certainly. Yeah. Right.
hello, new
What
spells.
3 things does my fighter get? Leveling up to 5.
Right.
Ah, there's the extra attack. I was wondering where it was going to come up.
Right. One new toy, but at a new level.
Because you know, every time you level up, everything gets worse, don't you? So,
Yeah, but I get new toys.
My proficiency bonus goes up to +3.
Everyone says.
Sweet.
That means some of my skills go up by 1. This is nice.
Oh yeah.
I get my proficiency bonus to any weapons I'm proficient with, right?
Yes,
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Good. Oh, I like to hear. And to my armor, I get it as well. My armor class has gone up.
Sweet.
Now, hard choice.
+12. Nice.
Ooh, sneak attack damage has gone up as well.
Hella nice. Yep, it looks like there was just 3 things. I think. Yes. Yeah. God, fighter is so easy. Cool.
I can't choose between haste and fireball. You see,
Obviously, fireball.
I would, but I still got 4 charges in this staff.
Oh yeah.
So that means haste is actually kind of tempting because it means one of you can essentially do an extra attack each turn.
Ooh, that could be a nice stack if I'm protecting you. Since I can attack twice now.
And it gives you a bonus to AC and stuff. So haste is a really good spell that I love to have.
Fuck yes.
But I can only have 1 3rd level spell and fireball.
Yeah, but seriously, that could make me your, like, unstoppable bodyguard.
It's definitely high on the priority list. But I don't have any kind of zap other than the staff. And actually, having Hold Monster instead of Fireball on the staff would be useful. Yeah, I think I've got to take Fireball first, I'm sorry. Haste next level.
Maybe you'll get a scroll.
Maybe. At least I think I did. Oh, hang on. Did I get that right? Spells known versus spells meant.
Oh yeah.
Not sure I got. I'm not sure what I get actually. Right. Okay, so yes, 1 new spell known.
I'll sort mine out later. I'll bid you good night.
Good night.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Gentle
end the stream,
beings.
Actually, it's
Thanks for the game, everyone.
Thanks for playing.
Cool stuff. See you next time.
Oh, 1 new spell prepared.